Hello. This reading is for Gemini. It's we're still in the 1111 portal. So let's see where this journey takes us. So the first card we have out here is the Knight of Pentacles. Just want to show that card up close because it is cool, in my opinion. And these are, to further explain that, is the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse. So with the Knight of Pentacles here, I feel like this is talking about a person. It could be a person in your life or a person coming into your life soon. I feel like this is talking about a man or a masculine energy. There's only two cards that show up. Well, excuse me, three cards that show up here. Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards that show up with feminine energy. But both of these are in the reverse. And this one, she's looking down. So we're taking that as a positive. There's only one. And even though this is a female depicted in this card, this is, the Sun card is generally speaking a masculine card associated with Leo. So I really feel like this is talking about a man, somebody who identifies as a man or who has masculine tendencies / features, however you want to vibe with it. Please do not take these things literal. So the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight of all the knights, but he is the knight that comes through. Slow and steady wins the race. So this particular knight, he's not distracted by his settings or his long journey, because he's the one who takes the long journey, because he takes the longest. But the reason why he's taking the longest is because his sole focus is on this coin that he's holding here. He has a very specific focus that he's honed in on, and he's not letting anything distract him from it, even if it means it takes him longer to do what he's actually doing. And then to further explain that is the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So what that's saying to me is that this is the beginning of a journey. Well, okay, so it's not necessarily the beginning, but it's like it's definitely a journey you've been on for a minute, if you're resonating with this. But it's like you're really just starting to pick up momentum. There's still a lot of hard work and a lot of effort that you need to put into this. And I feel like this definitely has something to do with finances or like stability and like material possession / wealth. And wealth doesn't always have to be material things. It could be emotional things. But for these two cards specifically, I feel like this is talking about focusing on the 3D material world where this is concerned. And the next set of cards here we have is the Sun, which I already explained. It has it's associated with Leo, so you may have Leo in your chart. And the Sun card to me is always like a sign of positivity. It's saying yes, like you're going in the right direction. It's funny because I just noticed that he has a halo, like a helmet over his head here. Well, and she does too. And so does this little creature here. Mother, father, child. This might be talking about a family, or this is what you're working towards, maybe. I'm just going to put this out there right off the back. I feel like there was some type of loss here with this Four of Cups. the way that she's holding her stomach area and looking down, and it almost looks like a little child alien, offering her a cup, which is a single cup, which is like the Ace of Cups, which is the embodiment of emotion and love and new beginnings, having to do with that energy. And she's missing it. She's not looking up. So I'm feeling like there's some type of loss having to do with a child. And I don't want to say the word, but it starts with M. It might be triggering for people, so I don't want to say it. But I'm definitely getting that from this card here. And he's like reaching up into the sky, like, damn you. And that's the King of Swords. So there were some setbacks. It was like you're putting in all this work, you were doing good, and you were on the right path, starting a family maybe, or on the path of starting a family. Because first you had to have the foundations, the financial foundations. But before you got to the financial foundations, there was already a setback in your plans for what you were working towards. And ultimately, though, I think this is just kind of like a temporary setback. I feel like this heavy depression, but there's like a sense of wanting to fight back, wanting to fight back against the depression that's coming towards you. Because even though this card is very heavy, both of these cards are uplifting, not only in a spiritual sense, in an energetic sense, but also in a knowledge sense. This King of Swords is very knowledgeable, very experienced, has put in the work. And that's the only way you get that knowledgeable and that experience. And they're like the leader of leaders. It's easy to follow someone like this because you know that they will not only have your best interest in mind as somebody that can look to somebody to be the starter, to set those plans into motion. But they're like crazy intelligent. They're very strategic. And when one thing doesn't work, they're already on to like they already had 5 other contingencies lined up that might work. So like I'm getting like a chess player like vibe. Like they're already like 5-10 moves ahead of whatever comes at them to try and defeat them, which is a nice segue into these next cards here. So we have the Seven of Swords, and then to further explain that, the King of Wands and the Justice card in reverse. Again, I'm getting some really heavy energy. Cancers do tend to be moody. And when I say moody, it's not that they're like a negative Nancy all the time. They're just really aware of their emotions, and it's hard for them to keep them under the surface. They usually boil over to the surface. And one day they'll wake up and they're in their feelings about whatever, and then they do whatever they have to do to get those feelings out, and then they're already on to a different set of emotions that they're feeling some kind of way about, and it might be like in a positive light, because cancers kind of go like back and forth with different things. So I feel like even though there's like determination and hard work and like a strategic and like smart and like knowing that the universe is truly on your side, because you've seen how it worked in your life. You've seen how like even when shit was like bad, it turned out good. You still like go back and forth and you find yourself in these dark places all the time. So I feel like this is ending on a dark note here. With the Seven of Swords, I feel like this could be like saying that you really just need to be a little bit selfish and focus on yourself instead of kind of worrying about other people. Because here we have another king. So there's two kings here. And the thing with kings is that they have people that are depending on them and looking to them to lead them and to show them the way. Ultimately, take care of them. I mean, it's up to the people to put in the work, but they're the ones that have the plan set out and show them how to execute it. So generally the Seven of Swords is like a liar, cheater, thief card, but this could be just like talking about like needing to just really focus on your own needs, even if it feels selfish. Even if you might be cutting out other people to detriment of yourself. I guess a good example would be, say you got offered an opportunity to go on some type of like work trip where like, I don't know, you're going out of town, like Puerto Rico or something like that, like somewhere you never been, I don't know. And it's like some kind of convention or something. And even though it's work, like it's like great opportunity, especially for work. And then you get to like do something that like go somewhere that you haven't gone before and experience new things, da 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 da. But at the same time, somebody that, I don't know, like maybe your kid's birthday is like during that week or something, or, you know, something like that, or it's like anniversary or something that's really important to someone in your life that you deeply care about. And instead of going on the trip, you decline to go on the work trip, but then because you're tending to your own personal needs. And that's not really selfish, it's just like self-care. That's one side of it. I feel like the other side of it, though, is I feel like there's definitely somebody trying to get over on you and you're not having it. Like the King of Wands, like they're very passionate and they're very intuitive, and this King of Wands already knows what's happening and they know how it's going to play out. Like on the tipping scales, it's not going to play out in the King of Wands' favor. But I feel like, again, because the Sun card is here, like it'll ultimately turn out in your favor, but you have to be strategic about how you maneuver and handle this disservice that's happening. Somebody's like trying to lie to you, steal from you, or like manipulate you, or like trying to do something which puts you at advantage because they're taking from you to put them at an advantage. So let's get some clarity and see what's going on here with Cancers. Can I get more information about the Knight of Pentacles? Clinging to the past. Oh, let me just keep going here. Oh, I forgot to mention the decks I was using. So I'm using the Astral 78 Tarot deck that I've used in a couple of my other readings, and I'm using the Osho Zen Tarot. This one, the 78 Astral Tarot, the Art Collective. Let me see. Oh. Isolation. Okay. What about this last one here? Look, it's like the sun and then there's ice. Crying tears of gold. Isn't that a nice juxtaposition? I'm hearing that song. You have an icebox where your heart used to be. I'm so cold, I'm so cold, I'm so cold, I'm so cold. Yeah, that makes sense with this pain that I feel in this Four of Cups here. This loss. The Dream in reverse. Okay. So, to further explain the Knight of Pentacles here, we have clinging to the past. Very interesting card. This person's head got turned into like some abstract work of art thing. I'm reminded of some horror movie I can't place at the moment. Oh, what was that movie? They're like fighting. Oh, I can't remember that movie. It's like one of my favorite weird, like, movies. Warlock. That's what I'm thinking of. Warlock. It's an old one. And it wasn't super popular, but it was a movie that I liked as a kid. Go figure. So I'm hearing this is the whole reason why this is going on, this like this journey and like this super focus on like reaching your finish line, reaching your goal, and it has to do with material wealth and our money. Are these like old ideas that you have from your past? And I feel like they're conflicting with what's currently happening in your reality, which is where these new ideas are trying to take root. But first you have to let go of the ideas or people, places, and things that no longer serve you anymore, and make room for the new. And I think that's why this Ten of Pentacles is in the reverse, because it's like a conflict. You're like so focused on doing things a specific way and the way you want to do them, which is ultimately not living in allowance and going with the will of the universe. Which is fine because we all have our free will, but it's like you can either have a easy journey or you can struggle, and you've chosen to struggle, which I mean is not surprising. You are Cancer. You're very in your feelings and in your emotions, so those take precedence over like logical type of thoughts and ideas, because it would be logical to get rid of things that don't work for you anymore. If they don't work for you, let them go. But when it's tied to your emotions, that's easier said than done. Excuse me, sir. Can you please stop? Please and thank you. Thank you. You're so cute. Okay, and then to further explain this scenario, I'm hearing isolation. Well, I'm not hearing isolation. That's what this card says. Isolation. And I'm feeling it. I think this was like a breakup or a split because of a tragedy. Again, it could have been a loss of a child or a loss of a loved one, a loss of an innocent. Oh, he's about to be in zoomy mode. Lord have mercy. The sun is here to melt away your emotions, but you just keep like fighting it and building up and building up, trying to block out the warmth because you're so used to the isolation and the walls that you built. You find comfort in that protection, but it doesn't serve you because it's keeping you stagnant. It's keeping you stuck in a place of negativity. It's keeping you from your goal, your end goal of what this Knight of Pentacles is setting out to do here. And here we have the Dream, and it's in the reverse. And this is where all this negativity is really coming out. I feel like you feel really, really let down. Like you started off with an idea and you were just gung-ho about it. And the lessons that you learned was that you feel like a failure. You feel like you failed. You feel like you haven't reached the end. The Knight of Pentacles comes through in the end, and you feel like you haven't done that. You feel like you're still on this journey after all this time, and you're kind of over it. And you definitely feel like there was a great injustice. You feel like you were screwed. Like you held on to your walls and your barriers because that's what crabs do. I mean, the Cancers go inward in hermit mode. They're homebodies, and when they feel like they're threatened or going to be attacked, they put up their walls and they protect themselves, and rightfully so, but I feel like you're using that as a crutch to your detriment. Let me get some final messages / advice for Cancer Collective that is resonating with this reading, please. Harmony. It's a beautiful card. We got a 10. This is a water energy. This is very Cancer, very in your emotions. All right, we got silence. Ugh, how I would long for silence right now. From the annoying meows that I hear right now. Ugh. All right, let's see what else we got for Cancer. We're going to at least one more card here. I'm going to lose my shit on my cat. I'm going to freak out. I don't know if you guys know anything about Maine Coons. But yeah, that's a Maine Coon. Surprise, surprise. Suppression. Another 10. What card is this? That's a 7/17. Okay. All right, man. So you got all the tools in your toolbox to get this job done, but you keep fighting yourself. That's what I'm getting. Like, we got Harmony here. This is like the 10 of water. So it's like it's all about emotions and flowing and going with the flow and seeing where it brings you. And this particular card, there's like dolphins, and it's connecting with his crown chakra here and his heart chakra. Those are two essential chakras. The one that's not being used here is the voice, the throat chakra. So you're incredibly intuitive, and you're like, I would say even you are aware of some psychic abilities that you have. You don't really try to focus on that, but they serve you when they serve you, and you don't really freak out about it. You just look at it as like you're a really good judge of character or a judge of like scenarios and stuff like that. Especially because it's connected to your emotions, to your heart. So like those just go hand in hand. But you don't really tell no one about it. You kind of pretend like it's not happening. You kind of keep it to yourself. You don't really think of it as like psychic abilities or anything like that. You just think of it as like how you move, like how you maneuver. And then we have silence here, which is like all about connecting with the universe. And in this particular card, it's like showing the moon over like a waterscape, and it's like reflecting, getting some Gemini energy there. And the moon, Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon goes through, like, out of all the planets in the sky, because the moon is the closest to us, they're the ones that go through the most cycles and the most phases. So like they switch up their moods really fast. But that doesn't mean they're fake. It just means that like they're used to going through the different changes of emotions, and they switch into that. So like the silence is saying like really just sink in, meditate, obviously, really get in touch with, if you feel some kind of way about something, ask really just sit back and be like, why do I feel this way? What does it mean? Like, how can I use this to move forward? What can I do about it if I don't like it to change it? Like, really need to take the time out to like sort out your emotions, because I'm feeling like you're very highly emotional. And this is coming up right under this isolation card with these tears here. And then there's suppression. Another 10. This is like the opposite of this. This is, you're holding in all this passion and desire and anger and just like any type of emotion that you have is like just turned up, and you're trying to hold it in. So I feel like what this is saying is either you can allow yourself to go on the path that you're currently on, which I feel like this is this 10 of fire, suppression. And what this leads to, this is like a volcano waiting to explode. It's not going to be pretty for you. It's not going to be pretty for anyone around you. And it's going to have lasting effects. And it might mean that even though you explode once, it doesn't mean you're done. Because you've held it down and boggled it down and pushed it down so far, like even after some of it erupts to the surface, there's still a lot more down there that if you don't deal with will eventually erupt. And it's just like a never-ending cycle of like horrible, awful like explosions emotionally. And that's going to disrupt your life. I feel like that's what it's saying you're on the path of doing. But it doesn't have to be that way, because you're being presented with, this is one opportunity or one way to do it. And here are 2 different ways. So I feel like for every bad thing or every negative thing that you are experiencing or can think of or are being presented with, if you really took the time and really got in touch with your emotions and sat in silence and just really was honest with yourself, you could find ways to get over it and deal with it in a more productive, creative way. And it's really up to you how you want to do this. But I feel like it doesn't matter which way you want to do it, to be honest. This is the way of the Knight of the Pentacles, right? Slow and steady wins the race. You're still going to win in the end. It's just like, what kind, do you want to experience that? Or do you want to maybe experience something a little more easy? But I feel like in order for you to not go on this route, you really just need to, I feel like there's like some type of guilt. There's some type of guilt that is pent up, and like something bad happened and you got real selfish about it, and you didn't care. It didn't really matter how it went down for anyone else because you had to be selfish about it to deal with it. And unfortunately for other people, that kind of made it worse for them. That wasn't your intention, but you couldn't handle it a different way at the time. And I think there's like guilt about that. And you don't have to let it get to the point where you explode. You just have to decide that you're going to do it a different way and do it a different way. You can go within, like the crab that you are, go within your shell, take some me time, do what you need to do to relax, go out in nature, be by water. Cancer is really important. If I don't know if you can hear it, I have a water fountain. It's for my cats. It's their water fountain to drink water. But I personally, I'm a Cancer moon and Cancer rising. I'm absolutely obsessed with water. I love water, and water is so like calming and peaceful. And a lot of times I put on rain, gentle rain, or sometimes thunderstorms sounds to go to sleep when it's raining outside. I freaking love it. Like I get the best sleep when it's raining outside. You just really need to go into your water nature. Because you going into this fire energy is against your nature, and it's going to be difficult. It's not like it's impossible, but it's not the easiest road. So, it's kind of up to you how you want to get that done. And that is my reading for Cancers. I hope you got something out of the reading. I hope that it resonated with you in some way, shape, or form. If some of it resonated and some of it didn't, please take what resonated and leave the rest behind. This is a collective reading. This is not a specific personal reading. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching my content, and I really, truly hope that you have a wonderful day and a wonderful time going forward. All right, thank you. Bye.